Hello, Joe Simhart here for another installment of Cults in the Occult Culture. I'm responding partly to my last video regarding the power of prayer and retired General Flynn and the Great Invocation. It got a lot of response and a lot of interesting questions. My concern is that perhaps the point is being missed in some cases, that this is more about freedom of speech and, so what if people send angels out to do their bidding, or if witches cast spells, or it's a free country and we have a right to practice our religion. And I agree with all that. And most people probably don't even think about these things very much. They just go ahead and do them. They bury a saint statue in the backyard, hoping that something lost will be found. This kind of behavior is very common. So I'm not arguing with the basic behavior. What I'm arguing about is that when these basic assumptions that people have about reality begin to dictate how they do politics and how their God influences how we run a basically secular political system. So without further ado, I want to get into something which has to do with these paintings back here of turtles, turtle crossing the street, turtle in a field, and this turtle here just kind of facing us in an orange background. Many years ago when I was hiking with my dog, I found this turtle shell, obviously skeleton, but apparently someone had shot the poor creature, some manly hunter out there experiencing their gun. But the turtle has come up in many other ways in terms of symbology. Back when the Cult Awareness Network, the real one, was operating until 1996, it was one of their old mugs. This organization was taken over after 1996 by the Cult of Scientology, or the Church of Scientology, depending how you look at it, as a result of lawsuits. So currently, if you look up Cult Awareness Network for help, you're going to get a Scientology operative taking all your information, so be careful. Cynthia Kisser, the director of the Cult Awareness Network back in the day, came up with this symbol. She talked about turtles and how the whole movement of cult awareness is moving along slowly like a turtle, and that we in the movement try to help people to move onward with their lives after leaving a cult. So this became kind of a symbol among the cult awareness crowd for a while, but that's all gone. So the other thing I want to look at here is the idea of the power of prayer and motivating people to pray a certain way and then to behave a certain way can be problematic. A lot of this occultism that I talk about in prayer modalities, whether it's theosophical prayer with the Great Invocation or name it, claim it prayer, used by many Christians. Some of that was analyzed in this book in the 60s called Occultism, Witchcraft, and Cultural Fashions by Mircea Eliade, an old worn-out book of mine. He has some good essays in there about these issues. Of course, back in the 50s, this man, Jose Silva, came up with this idea of mind control and how to control your mind, and it included ideas of how to improve your ESP, or extrasensory perception, or telepathy. So this was very popular in the day. It still is being used, and the Silva method has influenced dozens and dozens of other movements, including, according to Silva, Scientology. You have books like The Manipulated Mind, What's That All About, by Denise Wynn here. She looks at what happened regarding brainwashing theory since American prisoners of war in Korea suddenly switched sides to communist cause. And anyway, the concept of brainwashing since then has continued to fascinate us. They didn't suddenly switch sides, but there's a lot more to that Korean thing. The mind of Adolf Hitler, how did that work? How did he get what he got? What made him what he is? It's written by Walter Langer. Not a bad read. I enjoyed it. And then more currently, we have God's Sod, The Parasitic Mind, How Infectious Ideas Are Killing Common Sense. Mr. Sod is, right of center. He's endorsed by people like Jordan Peterson. They take pot shots at the liberal causes and the silliness among some liberal ideas, what I call low-hanging fruit. He likes to promote the idea of the honey badger, that if anybody disputes your claims and your claims are true, you should go at them like a honey badger. Don't give up. Even if you're surrounded by lions, you will not give up. Of course, we know even honey badgers can be manipulated. Some of the toughest men I've known have been involved in some of the silliest cults led by not masculine individuals, by women, or by fake gurus or whatever. So just being tough and a honey badger isn't going to keep you from being fooled. Another book, How to Change Your Mind, looking at the use of psychedelic drugs and entheogens, by Michael Pollan. It's an interesting read about all the research being done on that. And then we have Neurolinguistic Programming, Frogs into Princes, was a book by Bandler and Grinder back in the day. It influenced a lot of the coaching movements that are out there, which use suggestion therapy. Tony Robbins is the major one among them, using NLP techniques to influence crowds and people and hopefully to help them. But usually he makes a lot of money from his stage performances, influencing people. So what I want to look at here is something here I drew. It's kind of like a turtle, but it's more a bell curve. And in this bell curve, we have in a turtle's upper shell, the working group. And in the lower area, I have put there's something called a basic assumption state, and that comes from WR Bion's study with groups. And below that, I have the block, which represents something that's behind the turtle, the religious aspect, the conservative aspect, which we look back to things. We want to keep things that are good and not lose them. There's a whole conservative element within each of us. Sometimes it reaches cult status in society. And there's the person in the middle who shakes up his hands, doesn't know, what's right or left. So he kind of just stays in the middle. He's the kind of agnostic person. And that's his basic assumption. And then there's the butterfly, the person that wants to flit around and change the world and make things a lot better, and makes the basic assumption that if you contrast yourself with the conservative, that you're going to move things forward. But you may not be moving things forward very well because you're not up here in this working group, right? Which takes you above all these basic assumption states where people begin to work together and try to see better. They see things because they're at a higher state, or, can see more. And up above, I have the symbol of the all-seeing eye, but it's more like an infinity symbol that we see on our dollar bill, which is representing of God or the infinite or the universe, which has reality within it. And we try to approach that, but we never quite do as human beings because of our limitations. So the all-seeing eye remains floating above the pyramid, or floating above the turtle shell here. And the turtle moving is representative of time, of this whole system moving through time, from birth to death or whatever in many cycles. So I'm going to put that away. So what I'm trying to get to here is these basic assumption states that we fall into, whether it's through our religion, through our politics, through our independence from politics, tends not to be very useful for change, because we want to hold on to these ideas. We say, that's who we are, that's what I am, I have a right to be that person. But in most cases, we are a little bit wrong, or we could be better. And in order to figure that out, we have to rise into that, upper state, what WR Bion called the working group, as opposed to the dependency group or the pairing group or the the flight or fight group that wants to see the outside as threatening to it, and therefore it hunkers down and won't really change because it's in this constant battle mode. The dependency group, of course, is one that finds a leader, charismatic leader, very often a narcissist or someone that could be even pathological, that seems like they really have leadership, strong potential, like a Stalin or a Hitler or, the North Korean leader, or, some of our presidents have acted this way. Certainly General Patton acted that way. You can't have weak people around you. You got to be strong. You got to stick to the path. You got to hold on to your Bible. You got to wave the flag, that whole story. So those are basic assumptions. They keep us locked in to our state of mind. To become part of the working group, we got to rise above ourselves. We got to risk being wrong. We got to risk change. We have to stay within reality. We have to test things with the science that we have. What I just said was something which I try to practice, which is being a pragmatist about these things. It has nothing to do with taking a position. It has to do with trying to improve a position by finding the most pragmatic or the most realistic way to go forward or to change something. I'm referring a lot to the Experiences in Groups by WR Bion here, which I find still quite informative, even though it's over half a century old. We need to work together, and that's what he meant by working group. It's one which doesn't have an assumption state that stays solid. It moves. And I think our entire nation is based on the working group. When you look at how these men in the early days, they had different points of view, work this out, and are continuing to work it out with a very somewhat flexible constitutional system where we can make laws and change laws and reverse laws and move things through time. Hopefully we can move through time slowly and steadily like turtles do, and hopefully we don't get shot in the meantime doing it by our own misdeeds and arrogance. With that excursion into the difference between a working group and groups which have basic assumptions, I'm going to leave it for maybe another talk where I can clarify some of these points. But thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Have a nice day.